Tots Radio presents
Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast.
I'm not usually a hat fan, but wow.
Jeg vil ikke være en dagger.
I'm really sipping on that dumb bitch juice today, and
Yeah, I am. But you know what? Someday I just might grow out of that. But you will never stop being a jerk.
All chocolate cakes are good. You're a fascist.
it's hideous.
It's horrible.
It's home. Angry white boy, let's go! Hello, and welcome to Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast. The podcast with pep. That's Chad Ekowitz.
Woo! That's Simone LaRue, and today we have a fantastic cheering guest, Max LaRue. Holla!
Yay!
What's up, guys? It's your girl Max here again on the podcast. Although, wait, I've never been on the podcast because I've never been invited before today.
Once more, we sound exactly the same. I can only apologize to our listeners.
Yeah, you're gonna have a really tough time telling us apart.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good fun.
I think you're still a little husky, so.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a difference. Like obviously, like I get to see you too, so I get to see like the little, encircling the enveloping as one of you speaks, and also I can see whose mouth is opening and closing, which helps me personally. I guess for our listeners, this is a great opportunity for you to go over to our YouTube channel and start watching. This is all paid promotion.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you're really on, Max.
I'm being exploited.
How very
Welcome to the
strange.
wonderful world of podcasting.
I was just going to say a white man exploiting a woman. How unusual is that? Like,
How strange. How odd.
How bizarre.
So talking about white men exploiting women, what is this week about, Simone?
Woo! Look at that segue go. This week we are doing one of our favorite genres of movies, which is cheerleading movies. You'd think they'd be super happy because all they do is cheer all day, but we know that actually it's a lot of drama and sexism.
Oh, yeah.
I am thrilled. I can't wait to cover Fired Up, which was a rough watch.
Yeah.
And the latest Bring It On movie, Bring It On, international hashtag.
No. It's
Cheer
worldwide. It's worldwide, not
Worldwide.
international.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
And I mean, that's
That's
why
so
we
embarrassing
invited
for
That's why we invited Max on, because she has a personal
Yes.
tie to the movie. Why don't you tell us about your
Yes.
personal tie to hashtag SmackDown?
So this movie came out in hashtag cheer smack. You guys don't even know the
Fuck.
titles of the movie that you're
Professional podcaster.
Look, this is why we keep our movie titles to like one, maybe max 2 words. Fired Up is the most our brains can conceptualize.
To be fair, it is a very wordy title. It's quite a mouthful. So Bring It On worldwide hashtag cheer smack. I don't know, I got it right. Came out
You
in
were in it.
2017. And around that time I was doing a lot of extras work because I was a poor ass student, still am. And extras work is it's like a great job because it's the only job that you get free meals. Like by law, you're required to be provided meals, which is like very cool and very G. And they don't pay you very much, but you don't have to do anything other than like exist on camera, and sometimes like have a reaction. So I was an extra on the Bring It On movie. They put me in like a too small little lycra cheerleading uniform and gave me a high pony. And and the scene that I'm in is literally just myself and like 2, 3, 4 other people pretend to be a cheer squad, and only one of the other extras had any like gymnastics experience, and so she was desperately trying to teach us like some sort of gymnastics so that we could look like a convincing cheer squad, but we were like so fucking useless that eventually only she like did gymnastics things, and the rest of us just kind of like stood there, and my whole job was just to look bitchy and then to like be bitchy to the main character, which is great because like that's my resting face.
And
so
then you got paid for it.
And you
And
got
then I
paid
got
for it,
paid
and
for it.
meals.
and I
That's
got free
brilliant.
food for it.
I
It was
must
so-
say,
I was looking out for it. It's the little squad. I think it's like 3 or 4 of you wearing like black
Yes.
and gold uniforms.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's about,
yeah.
I think it's about 15 minutes in. I did take screenshots for the purposes of the social media. And it was just really good fun to see. It was really great because, I mean, getting your behind the scenes of it is brilliant as well, because I love the scene where obviously the gymnastics one of your group did a flip over you, and then you all got up and were like, you've been smacked. And I was like, fucking yes. Max, what a scene.
Yeah, that's the only line. So, it's a line, but I still didn't get credited. Okay, thanks.
Rude.
I didn't get rude,
It's
right?
still on my reel.
It's on my reel. You can find my reel at and I don't have a reel. And literally the line is, "We're coming for you," and we just had to deliver it as bitchily as we could, and again, right up my fucking alley. So it was like easy for me. But the girl who
One
was the
take.
gymnast, I believe her name was Megan, but I'm like gonna be so embarrassed if that wasn't actually her name. She was like the sweetest girl, and I don't know how she channeled so much bitch. Anyway, that's
inside
my
all of
story.
That's brilliant. Oh, acting. Well, that's fantastic. And it's great to have a star on this podcast, someone who is actually
a
famous.
celebrity guest.
Here we go. So before we get into the real meat, the gravitas of these two movies, let's find out what everyone's drinking. So guest Max, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a very shit and cheap box wine. It is a
Ooh.
white wine. It's cold, at least, which is
Nice.
usually a step up from like the trash that I normally drink, which is
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
room temperature. I don't know exactly what brand. Probably Robertson's 3-liter box wine.
So that's usually the default when it comes
Yeah.
to box wine.
Yeah.
It is the best of the box wines. So you can't go wrong with a bit of Robinson's box wine. Absolutely. It reminds me of the beginning of these podcasts 3 years ago when that was all you drank, Simone. It's a great blast.
Well,
blast
now
from the
I live
past.
with, because when we started the podcast, I lived with Max, and she didn't
Yes.
judge me for it. But now I live with
Yeah.
Rudy, and he judges me very heavily for drinking box wine.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, you should dump him
yeah,
and move back in with Max. I'm just gonna start fights
She'd
now.
love
I think
that.
so. Just start fights. Just gonna stir the pot.
that's the most fun. Simone, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a water because I got back from work half an hour ago, and I didn't have time to pick up wine. I actually meant to go during lunch, and I was
Mhm.
at Willie's. I had the bottle of wine. I was at the counter, and I was like, I don't have my wallet. So I had to
Fuck.
go do a walk of shame back to the wine shelf, put it back, and I was like, I won't have time again. So it's fine.
That's so
I'm here,
sad.
I'm drinking water.
You had all the best intentions. I think that's what counts, really. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
got wine
I'm
intentions.
tipsy in spirit.
yeah. Tipsy in spirit. There it is. It's a Christmas miracle. And then I am drinking the all-time favorite, my cloudy Sicilian lemonade premium cider, vegan. It's
Ooh.
delicious and delightful, very fresh.
Vegan.
Chad always has the fanciest drinks.
It's you know
Wow.
what, as everyone knows, the UK is like the capita of drinking, or drinking leading to poor decisions. I think that's how Brexit happened.
Oh,
So
for sure.
Everyone
Oh,
was just
definitely.
totally sloshed.
yeah, absolutely, without a question. So this only comes in at 4%. So Max, I guess you get to decide as the de facto most alcohol percentage drinker which movie we do
Hey,
first.
Yeah.
Let's start with Bring It On, just because in my opinion it is the less good movie. So
Mhm.
I feel
Sure,
like
sure.
we get to build up to Fired Up afterwards.
Okay,
Cool.
that's a good shout.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, Simone and I did not discuss who's doing which
No,
movie. This
I
was
just
just based
assumed I was
on.
doing Bring It On.
Thank God. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So we're good. This is the first time that's
one
ever
day we're
worked
gonna
out
get
for
it
us.
wrong, but it is
Oh,
not today.
Not today, son. All right.
Okay, so Destiny is in cheer heaven. She is the Destiny, played by Christine Prosperi. She is in cheer heaven. She is the lead of a internationally renowned cheerleading team called the All-Star Rebel Squad, alongside her bestie Willow, played by Gia Lodge-O'Mealy, and Hannah, played by Sophie Vavasseur. They're doing their thing. They're at a performance. They're shining. But then, the performance is disrupted by this mysterious cheerleading squad called The Truth. And they call Destiny out for having boring routines. And they say that they're going to shake things up. She has been hashtag cheer smacked. Destiny is devastated. She can't handle it. She runs off into the streets of, I think, what's supposed to be Los Angeles,
Yeah.
where she runs into a group of super fun dancing guys.
Dancing guys.
Dancy boys.
We're the Dancy
Um,
boys.
I think that's what they're called officially.
Yeah.
Among them is Did It, played by Stephen Lee Benson. Blake, the hot one, played by Jordan Rodriguez. And Jeff, played by Sven Roygrock. They're all super dancy and they're like making fun of her for being a cheerleader. And she's like, whatever, I don't even care. I love being a cheerleader. And she kind of just wanders off. The cheer-miliation continues as more and more people see the SmackDown and other cheer squads start stepping to the rebels saying that they're going to take them down. Destiny doesn't know what to do. Her besties are encouraging her, hey, like maybe we should mix up some of the routines. Maybe we should like try new things. And she's like, no, our stuff has worked well before. It's going to work well again. This is obviously a huge area of contention within the squad. A bunch of people in the squad actually leave because they're like so upset about the truth thing. So luckily, Destiny's able to ask these Dancy boys if they wouldn't mind being part of the cheerleading squad. There is some tension at first, but over time, they really start getting into a groove until a video is released showing that Destiny said some unkind things about everybody in her squad, and she's just overall like really ungracious and mean. So more people leave, and it turns out that her bestie Willow and her besties Hannah, they had actually led the truth. The truth was her own squad twist, trying to help her, trying to show her that she needs to change up her moves. Hannah's like, no, I'm gonna stay in the truth and I'm gonna lead it because your moves are still shit. And Willow's like, no, Destiny, I can see that you have changed and you don't want to be like a cheer dictator or whatever. So we're gonna work really hard to try and be better cheerleaders. All of this leads up to the international cheer smackdown, cheer smack,
the
worldwide cheerleading competition.
#CheerSmack.
Where cheer teams from all over the world are competing for the top spot.
Yeah, like essentially, I think it's like sort of like a King of the Hill situation. Like they're gonna beat the rebels, but if the rebels
like there's
win,
no cash prize. There's definitely no cash prize.
No,
it's just for shits and gigs. Even though there's a lot of production value. Anyway.
Yeah, who
so
funded
it all builds
Okay,
up
sorry,
to this
go
night. Naturally, everybody competes. There's some really cool competing teams from around the world. It's all digital, so like they're just performing in their gyms. At least that's like not super pricey. Naturally, Destiny and her team, who have worked together really hard, they win and show the value of teamwork and sisterhood. And that's the end.
Go Rebels! What's
Go Rebels!
What's your cliffhanger for this one, friendo?
My cliffhanger is this, and it's the scene at the beginning where she's talking to the Dancy boys and she just like keeps using hashtags in her normal speech, and it is mortifying.
It's hashtag mortifying.
It's hashtag mortifying.
Look, I love a good wordplay, and I love that they get femme into a lot of things. A fempire may be my favorite thing of all time now. But yeah, speaking hashtags is pretty un-okay.
I work in marketing, so I know I should speak in hashtags, and yet.
Thank God.
I really liked femtimidating.
Femtimidating was fun.
You know.
Yeah, that's pretty
I want to
great.
put that on my CV, I think.
You should put it.
Like, describe yourself in one word. I'd be like, femtimidating. And they'd be like, that's not a word. And I'd be like, you didn't say it had to be a real word.
To...
I'm actually too powerful to be constrained by your dictionary, so.
Yeah, you've used it both as an adjective and a verb. So, you're just killing it straight out. So Max, like, how long were you on set for this? Like, talk us through like your experience on this movie. Like, who did you meet? What was the food? Because I mean, we brought this up before, and we love talking about food.
Wow. Okay, so this was, it was filmed early 2017, I believe, and it came out later that year, or it was filmed late 2016. I could not tell you. So this was like quite a while ago. I don't remember what the food was, unfortunately. Because I'd been on a lot of sets. Sorry, I've been on like a lot of sets. I'm actually like very famous. So I it gets hard to keep them all straight.
You guys.
So did make a collab. Actually, funnily enough, a lot of the shots in the movie that are framed as appearing in lots of different places all happened in the same spot It was
The
this.
Seapoint
It was
Promenade.
it was no. It was. I mean, were there shots from the Sea Point Promenade?
Oh, yeah.
Did you spot them?
Yeah,
Oh,
there
yeah.
were a
Funnily
bunch
enough,
of different shots.
watching the movie, I actually did notice a lot of places that I was like, that's very clearly Cape Town in the background. Like they had these
Mhm.
establishing shots of like LA or wherever the fuck they are.
Yeah.
And
then it
and
was,
then
like,
like
in
and
Cape
then
Town.
immediately it would be like Cape Town. And you can
Yeah.
tell because like in the background they'll have those like signs that have like Coca-Cola branding on them, and it'll say like Quickie Mart or like, you know, like
Yeah,
some like little
Spa, yeah.
cafe. And you're like, that's very clearly South Africa.
Yeah, and I was really
so-
concerned because like towards the end they're like at this dodgy warehouse and she like parks her convertible.
Oh, I thought
in,
that was
like,
gonna
the
get robbed.
alleyway,
Yeah,
And
I
I
thought
was
that was
like,
going.
oh girl.
That's somewhere in
Yeah.
like Milnerton or some shit like that.
I
It's in
thought that
Pardon
car was gonna
Island,
go.
like
Yeah.
so we were on a field in Newlands, that big Newlands sports field.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it's very strange because behind the field is a big business, and it's got sort of like an atrium with like very big windows where all these business people were like walking through. And we had to try to like practice, like come up with and practice a cheer routine. And in like these like little lycra outfits, with all these business people just like walking past, because that's like the side of the field that we got to practice. And it was I was very self-conscious about it.
They did not pay you enough.
No, and actually a lot of the shots from the movie are filmed right there
Yeah.
in that field,
right, okay.
because
They
it's
just
like
use
very
different angles.
they just use different angles. Absolutely. A lot of the like reaction shots of extras being like, oh my god, look at this thing on my phone that I'm watching, definitely watching and not pretending to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely not green
they were all
screen.
definitely not green screen at all. There's actually my hands actually make a little bit of a cameo in the
Oh my
movie. There's
gosh.
a good shot of me
Oh.
just like holding my phone, and the like it's like over my shoulder as I'm holding my phone.
And then you've got your like number and like spotlight number on the other hand. You're just holding it there, waiting for like representation.
Follow me.
Yeah.
Follow me on Insta. Yeah, and so usually when you're on set, it can take anywhere up to like 12 hours. That's the maximum they're allowed to keep you, but usually you get kept more. This didn't take as long. This I remember it didn't take more than maybe 7 hours.
Oh, that's not bad then. That's not too bad.
It's not too bad. It's a lot of waiting. It's a lot of hurry up and wait. I did meet the director.
Ooh.
Because, you know, when they came out to like, or I can't remember if it was the director or like maybe like a sub director, like director of photography. I could not tell you. I can remember what he looks like though. He was like a middle-aged dude. He had like a close crop beard, I believe, like white hair. I think he had like glasses.
Just sounds like a
And-
director.
Yeah.
And
Was it
he-
Peter Jackson? I don't-
It could be anyone. It could be
Directed
anyone
by
from
Peter
Hollywood.
Jackson.
And I remember like he told me that I did a good job and I had like a lot of potential.
Aw.
And like cute little how old was I? I don't want to like share my age. How old was I in 2016? Or 2017? I was so, my head inflated to 3 times its normal size that the director of an actual movie had told me that I had potential. And do you know where that potential got me? More extra work. So
Hell
I guess
yeah,
he was
dude.
fucking wrong.
Well, it all starts there. I mean, you mentioned you were in a Coca-Cola ad, but I mean that's how Keanu got his big break. Well, that's where he
True.
started. It's not how he got his big break, but like that was his first thing. He was in a I think it was either a Pepsi or a Coke commercial, and he like was doing a marathon, and he like crosses the finish line, and his dad's like, "I'm proud of you," and he drinks a Coke, and it's like, "Coke, win your
Very
dad's
noble.
love." You know, and it was beautiful. What I loved about this movie though was Frankie's. The sheer
Yes.
love this movie has for Frankie's, which uncomprehensibly is one of the best restaurants in Cape Town for American
Really?
style dining. For American style
Oh.
dining.
I've never been to Frankie's actually.
So good.
It's in Mowbray, right?
I thought it was
No,
on
it's in Sea Point.
yeah, I
Is
thought it
it
was
in
in
Sea
Seapoint.
Point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
on
Okay.
Main.
Okay.
Mhm.
Look, I don't know what your sort of diet is about, Max, but I know Simone probably would never go there because it is just meat. It's just like lots of burgers and hot dogs and shit. And
Most
like
places
at that
in
time,
Cape Town have like veggie burgers and stuff these
They
days,
do.
though.
that place is
That place
just meat.
doesn't.
So
Yeah,
what
they
did
did show Frankie's quite a lot of love, but it's a cool place. Like it's a really nice background and stuff. So why not?
yeah, I appreciated that. I appreciated like a little bit of
bunch
a home.
cheerleaders dining at Frankie's. Okay, sure. Professional athletes.
Sure. They're absolutely gonna have that many carbs. I believe you.
Oh gosh. All right. So what did everyone enjoy about this movie?
You know, what I like about it is it's just like removed from time and place.
Right.
They're vaguely in LA. But what does she do? Like, how old is she? Like, what is her job? Professional cheerleader? Is she like a student and she leads a university squad? Like, and the Dancy Boys are like, the one dude's an artist and he like hangs out with this dance crew that's also his friends. But like, what do the rest of them do? And and they're like really concerned about each other. Like the show of brotherhood
Oh,
in
it's
this was
beautiful.
outstanding. But
Oh my
it's just like,
gosh.
well, I just really have to look after my boys right now. Like they're really hurt by what you did, which was sweet. But I was just like, are you an actual team? Like what?
They're the
How is
Dancy
the
Boys.
How old are you?
situation?
Yeah,
How
that
old
I
are
did
they?
love. Because yeah,
She's
it's
like,
it's
oh
the
yeah,
whole
Willow and I got these tattoos when we were 16, and I was like, which was how long?
yeah,
ago?
yeah. Was that
Like,
last year? Is that in the future? How does this
And they've got like this fancy gymnasium, right? And it seems like it's some
Yeah.
sort of like institutional gymnasium. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
but is it a high school gym? Is it like a university gym? Do you go to class?
Yeah.
You need to
What
get
do
your
you do?
degrees. Do you know that? Like, do you know that you need to finish? Like, you need to go to your classes to get your college degree.
And she's
Are you
got a
aware?
nice place. So I'm like, are you affording that on like a professional cheerleader salary?
Where are her parents? Where are her parents?
Well, that's what
They
happened.
just,
That's
like,
obviously what's
did not
happened.
bother to
You've-
write any of it, and I love it.
It's beautiful.
They just
I
didn't
think you're
bother.
right,
They're like, they
Max.
don't need parents. They don't need parents.
Well, no, maybe that's the whole backstory. Maybe this is where we're getting in depth with this. Maybe it goes dark. Maybe what happened was her parents died in a horrible car crash on the way to one of her cheering events, and so she's living off of their inheritance money, and that's why she can afford the nice house and everything. And she's cheering
Gosh,
because
that's
it's
also
the
why she wants to
last
keep
thing.
everything the same.
Yes, and like trying to
She's
keep
got
it
real
cheery
control
because if she just let herself be sad for one moment, that's her done because her parents
Oh my
died.
god.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't be a cheerleader without your smile.
Exactly. And that's what she's
Wow.
about.
Wow. Chad.
This is a damn dark movie.
Without your smile.
That's the subtitle for this movie. So it's Bring It On,
Colon.
Worldwide.
Worldwide, hashtag SmackDown, parentheses.
Cheer smack.
Was it Cheer Smacked? Fuck. Hashtag
Cheer
Cheer Smacked, parentheses. You can't cheer without your smile. Done. The
Period.
period. Exclamation mark.
May I also offer you're never fully cheering without a smile.
Ah, that's nice. That's cute. I like that one as well. It adds like real depth to this film. But yeah, like I really enjoyed the dancey nature of this. It's sort of, it goes back to the whole, movie trope that dancing is life. I love those kind of movies where nothing exists outside of the world of dance, like Step Up, Footloose, all of those things where dance is the most important, most crucial thing.
There's a point in Miss Cheer Goddess, played by Vivica A. Fox.
Brilliant.
She's like, the Rebel All-Stars have embarrassed themselves by dancing with a street crew. And it's like it's a really cool video. Like it's actually great PR.
Yeah.
I don't understand like why they're soiling their reputation by dancing. By doing anything outside of their free time that isn't like cheer related.
I also feel like that, as is typical of Hollywood movies, they have so many like reactions that like literally no human would ever perform. Like, after The Truth does their whole like, interruption, very cool glitched out situation in the beginning of the movie, this little boy throws a pretzel covered in mustard at the one chick and is like, I hate you. And it's like, it's just like so
what a strange thing to do.
Bizarre. Like this cheer squad was just performing and then someone hijacked their feed and this little kid is so moved to rage that he throws his food item at this cheerleader and proclaims that he hates her. Like it's just
old.
that kid is really into cheering. Like he is proper into it. And it's great as well because like obviously it's televised or whatever over the internet. And then so you've got to imagine these people sitting all around the world watching the Rebels, and then suddenly it glitches and you're getting weird scenes of like intersposed between The Truth and also the Rebels' reaction to The Truth. So who is filming this so expertly that it's just hitting all these beats perfectly for those who are around the world to be involved?
Destiny should have known it was a conspiracy from the start.
And honestly, the same thing happens when they're doing like their little dance off with like the dancey boys, and like there's videos online, like the
professionally cut
leaked
that
videos
together.
online. Someone
Yeah.
cut it together, and like there are angles on like everyone's phones. They're showing over the shoulder
Mm.
shots of people like watching on their phones of like first person views of the cheerleaders
Yes.
doing like their little like dance. And it's like, who was filming? Because if you look at all like if you look at all of the like far shots of the two crews, no one has a phone. So who's filming?
Yeah. That's a really good point as well, because like the rebels themselves are like, who was filming us during that day? And like there's shots of them looking in the camera. So it's like, wait, what do you mean who was filming? You looked at them filming this thing and you're confused?
It's a cheerspiracy.
It's a cheerspiracy, y'all.
It's a cheerspiracy.
There you go. That's perfect. Okay, cool. So let's talk scene that could have saved it. Now, Max, just for general info, I know you've listened to the podcast before. I mean, you're our biggest fan. But basically, at this point, we just want to do a scene that could have saved this movie, made it slightly better. You know, sometimes perfection is perfect and you just can't make it better, but just have a think. And while you're thinking about it, Simone, why don't you tell us your scene that could have saved this?
So they go into a lot of effort, which was the only really redeeming thing about this movie, or the thing I really enjoyed, to showcase different teams from around the world. And they're clearly like real cheerleading squads, right?
Yeah.
Like, which I thought was awesome. I was like, oh, wow. But ultimately that means nothing, because it's still down to like the two main teams that we've been following. And I just wanted the winner to be like way out of left field, like fucking Argentina or some shit, or Costa Rica. They're like, yes, Costa Rica are the winners. Like they have the best cheer squad. Sorry for all of you. You played yourselves.
That would have actually been a
Absolutely.
really good lesson for everyone, and just being like, well, actually, we're not the be all and end all. And it kind of would have taught Destiny a lesson in itself, and the rest of the team too. So yeah, that's
And
actually a really good point.
maybe the end credit scene is them hopping on a flight to Costa Rica, you know? Who knows?
That would be cool. That would be very, very cool. And then we get the next Bring It On, Internacional.
In Costa Rica.
Hashtag buenos.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Killed
Max,
that. You nailed that. You nailed that.
Yeah, I try my best. Max, what's your scene that could have saved it?
So very, very similarly to Sis, I feel that, the problem with the movie is that like Destiny, she's like a terrible fucking character. Okay. Like she's like just the
horrible.
worst.
Oh,
She's the worst. And I feel like the actress really did the best that she could with the lines that she was given. She was given a shit script to work with. And the way that she delivered all of the really cringy lines, very deadpan, made it funny. You didn't cringe. You were like, oh, there's a little bit of self-awareness perhaps. So I really liked the actress. She did the best that she could, but Destiny's character was so awful, and it never felt like she actually went through some sort of redemption, because I feel like they didn't have a big enough loss for her. Like shit didn't really go that bad for her. She just kind of lost like her best friend Willow, but that didn't even seem to bum her out that much. Like
they were
it
like
bummed
in
her
a
out enough.
fight.
They were like in a fight, and it bummed her out enough that she like brought Willow pizza, but then Willow like immediately forgave her. So like she never actually was in like dire straits. Like she wasn't, there wasn't a lot at stake. The stakes weren't high. The gravity of the situation was too light. So what I feel would have saved it would be a scene where you really get a feel for Destiny's defeat, where you really feel like it really fucked her up. Like she was sad. She has like a couple days moping. She has like, instead of this, like,
Blake
it was just
talk to her.
Yes. Instead
like
of it was just like a minor
song.
inconvenience in her life. Like she just
kind
of like
starts playing. Yeah,
absolutely. I feel like that would have made the film a lot more impactful. I actually have two. Am I allowed to do two?
Go for it. Why not? We don't have any rules. This is the third year of the podcast. That's the general theme.
We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Let's go.
That's gonna get to YouTube taken down, isn't it? Shit.
we mark the videos as not for kids. So
I think we're safe. I think also that because Destiny's character is so unlikable, you do really want her to go through some sort of like humbling experience. But the problem is that the whole cheer competition was about her. The whole inception of the plan was to like make her less shit. It was about her. It was everyone thinking about her. And then like the problem with that is that then she wins. So like no, what I would have liked would is the blonde's name is Hannah, right?
Yeah.
What I would have liked would be for Hannah's squad, which she obviously like, you know, the whole like point of contention is that Hannah doesn't want to return to the squad after Destiny learns her lesson. She wants to like have the truth and like win as the truth. And it's her squad. She did all the choreo. She did all of like, you know, the hours of practice that must have gone into it.
So fair.
And she fair. She just wants to like perform the routines that she and her squad have put together and put a lot of love and passion into. And, you know, it's like framed as this weird thing, like she doesn't just want to go back to whatever Destiny wants. She wants to like have the passion of performing her own art, which is like deplorable according to the movie. I think the scene that would have saved it is if they'd won, you know, if Hannah had been like, listen, I didn't like want I wanted to like so have passion
about it. Like they're like, oh, now she's the problematic one.
Yeah. If they had just made her really cool and like everything fine, like it would have actually taught Destiny a lesson. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Instead, it feels like Destiny didn't learn anything because she won anyway, and it was all about her to begin with. So, like, you know, she didn't lose anything.
That, like, it wasn't a real cheer competition. Like, they weren't judged based on like actual cheer criteria. They were judged on like likes.
It was a true democracy, which a competition shouldn't be.
A cheerocracy.
A cheerocracy, sorry.
Which
it shouldn't
especially
be. That's
doesn't
not
make
what competitions
sense.
are about. No.
Yeah.
It especially doesn't make sense if you think about there's like a little bit of dialogue earlier in the movie where like it's sort of they discuss that the reason that they keep winning nationals is because of Destiny's reputation and not because their like cheering is good. But it's like, sweetie, this is an international this is an internet competition where you're not being judged by actual cheer judges who know about like the gymnastic ability and athletics required for these things,
and
so like literally
routines properly.
So you're not proving that in fact your routine is superior. You're once again winning on reputation. You're winning on like
so this is actually a null point.
Nothing happens.
Literally nothing changed from the beginning of the movie.
No. Absolutely. For me,
which is why it was bad.
And that's why we do these things. Mine is pretty much almost identical to Max's in the fact that like I really just want like what they try to do with Destiny's character is make her both ditzy and super popular and vicious, and the two don't really work together because when you're ditzy, you're unassuming and you just go through life. But when you're sort of diabolical, you need a plan, you need to think about these things. And it was so sort of like contrasting and juxtapositioned. It just really didn't work as a character. So like choose one, pick a lane, guys. Either she's super ditzy and doesn't know that she's horrible and then she learns that she's horrible, or she is diabolical and learns to be nice because, you know, she gets a taste of her own medicine. And either way, you get a good character arc. But no, we went down a double lane highway and we were just swerving around.
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
whoop, whoop, whoop. So would we watch this movie again?
No, yes, but only because I'm in it.
Fair.
This is the second time I've watched it and I was just like, oh, it feels so long.
Yeah, it does feel way longer than it needed to be. Yeah,
actually,
I mean, I'd watch your scenes,
down,
Max, but apart from that, like, I'm not gonna watch it again.
I wrote down all the instances of people using cheer in a word where cheer doesn't belong. I don't know what I did with my. I don't know.
Look at her. She's like prepping.
She's so much better at this than we are.
All right.
All of our guests are always better than we are.
Here we go. Go for it. This is cheer time.
I don't think I got all of them because I only started recording about 15 minutes in. I only started like writing them down, but there are just far too many. I'm just gonna hit you rapid fire. Okay.
Go. We'll do it. Okay, we'll do a little cheer while you're doing it. Come on, Simone. Just arms.
Cheer smacked. Cheer baby. Cheer eliminated. Cheer eternity. Cheer ridiculous. Cheer somnia. Cheer celebrities. Cheer followers. Cheer swayed. Cheer emergency and cheer humiliated.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you very much for
doing that. There are probably more. I like cheer humiliated too.
Cheer humiliated.
It's powerful.
Yeah, it also sounds like a Pokemon, which I kind of like.
Humiliated. I choose you.
And it's just like this little garbage monster.
With pom-poms.
With pom-poms. Right. Okay. Shall I tell you about Fired Up?
Please do.
By all means.
Before we do, what does that spell, Fired Up?
F-U.
What does F-U spell?
Fired up.
You guys, you're on this cheer ship. All right, here we go. Sean, played by Nicholas de Agosto, and Nick, played by Eric Christian Olsen, are just your typical super hot teenage jocks. They're on the football team, highly athletic, and are absolute lady killers, having both slept with pretty much every girl in their school. We join their story as they are about to go away for football camp in El Paso, Texas. This will be a 2-week training intensive excursion. The biggest problem for the two lads is the fact that there won't be any girls there. That's when Sean hatches a diabolical scheme. He's found out that there's a cheerleading camp happening at pretty much the exact same time as the football camp. If he and Nick can go to the cheerleading camp instead of to football camp, not only will they be able to escape the grueling 2-week training session, they will have the opportunity to sleep with hundreds of other girls from different schools. The cheerleading camp is 3 weeks long, so Sean and Nick decide that they'll hook up with as many girls as possible over the 2-week period and then ditch before week 3, when there will be this big cheering competition between all of the cheer squads, thus pissing off everyone. Of course, they don't care because all they're after is tail. There is only one problem with their plan, however, and that they are not cheerleaders. So, in order to try and get on the cheerleading squad, Sean goes to speak to his baby sister, Poppy, played by Juliette Goglia, who is on the JV team. She's also the super savvy business tycoon who can get anyone anything they want. So Poppy tells the boys that their best option of getting onto the team is to approach the squad members and the cheerleading coach, because their captain of the cheerleading squad, Carly, played by Sarah Rumer, would never fall for their bullshit. That is because she respects herself and knows that the only sincere bone in both Nick and Sean's bodies are their penises. Consequently, that's exactly what they do. The boys go over Carly's head and are put on the team, but Carly warns them that she'll be watching them, and one slip up and they're out of there forever. They get to the cheer camp and the exact thing that you expect happens. They absolutely slay it, hooking up with cheerleaders left, right, and center. But along the way, Sean starts to fall for Carly, and Carly also starts to fall for Sean. Unfortunately, Carly is in a long-term relationship with Dr. Rick, played by David Walton. Dr. Rick is pre-med and is a massive dickhead. At some point, Sean finds out that Dr. Rick is actually cheating on Carly, but doesn't tell her because he doesn't want to hurt her. So the 2 weeks go by and Nick is ready to leave, but Sean doesn't want to go. He wants to stay and try and get with Carly. After some cajoling, Nick agrees to stay for the 3rd week. That's when the shit hits the fan. Dr. Rick discovers that Nick and Sean's original plan Dr. Rick discovers Nick and Sean's original plan and exposes them to the whole cheerleading team, showing the bus ticket indicating that they were going to bail after the 2 weeks. Carly is super pissed, and as is the head coach, Coach Keith, played by John Michael Higgins, and he banishes them from the cheer camp. Dejected, Nick and Sean go off to party with their football buddies. They start to realize that they really fucking hate this chauvinistic lifestyle and want to be cheerleaders. So they head back to the competition. They apologize to Carly, who kind of forgives them, but not really. And then it's time for the big competition. Carly sees Dr. Rick cheating on her, so he's super pissed. So she's super pissed, but they pull off this pretty decent routine, and they don't come last, which is kind of their whole goal for this competition. Carly and Sean get together, and everyone lives happily ever after. The end.
Woo. Woo. What is your cliffhanger?
So it has to be this one, and it's the scene where Coach Keith comes in and he does the whole speech about, you know, F you, what does that spell, fired up, and goes into like the whole thing about the Fountain of Troy and it being prohibitado.
Flawless script writing.
John Michael Higgins is the best
one of the
human
funniest
being.
men on TV. He's so
brilliant.
funny.
He's so good. Like this, pitch perfect, absolutely brilliant. Cannot fault him. What a legend. I think he, like everyone in this does like really good comedy, but he really carries those bits where he's in it. It's so stunning.
For sure. Along with Dr. Rick, I think Dr. Rick was the perfect level of just like pure douchiness. Like every single movement, the way he like kisses Carly is just so disgusting.
He does this one movement where like after they've kissed, he like wipes off the side of his lips and like licks
so
it.
good.
Like and like just little movements like that are just so perfect.
Yeah.
You just like, I hate this man.
He's so good with it.
And also those scenes around Dr. Rick are honestly some of the funniest. Like whenever like when that girl gets hurt cheerleading and Carly's like, oh, if only Rick was here. They're like, why? So he can call a doctor.
Yeah. When he gets into the car and he's like size 10, size 11 in Crocs and drives off in his white BMW. It's so great.
Obsessed. I pray for that level of confidence every
Oh,
day.
it's beautiful. It's so, so good. Like, I know you mentioned right at the top, like this movie on a rewatch is not great. It is very problematic, like terrifyingly problematic, but it is still really funny outside of the comedy that is a bit
Yeah.
ick.
It's just every time that the actors talk about, like, I don't know how to say it, like, I don't want to say making love to women because that's not what they're doing.
Not accurate.
Tenderly loving
think-
these women.
I think getting tail is probably the least offensive way I could say it.
Yes.
Every time they talk about it, you're just like, shut up. Like, they're both so actually funny when they're not like having to, I don't know, be sexist assholes. And it's like, I wish like they just gotten more space to improvise around that and be funny around that instead of like, we get it. Like,
You like
you're
women.
18-year-old boys being played by 30-year-old men and you like sex. What a shock.
One of the scenes in the movie that made me laugh the hardest was when they're appealing to Poppy, and like they're doing like a whole little improv, and the actor who plays Sean can almost not stop himself from laughing. You can see there's like one shot of him where he has to like hold in a smile because what's happening next to him is just so hilarious. And like that's the part that made me laugh the most because it's a good indication of how funny these two actors are and how good
and
they
their
are.
dynamic
at sort
was
of improv.
really good.
Absolutely.
They had great chemistry
They
together.
played off each other so well. I will say, like, going back to your point about them being played by 30-year-old actors, I feel like this is one of those very rare occasions where it's okay. And I say that because if they were played by real 18-year-olds, it's essentially child porn.
Boys.
Yeah. And then it's just very, like, I don't think it would have worked. So being played by 30.
The time I heard a 5 Seconds of Summer song. This was like 2015, right? I heard a 5 Seconds of Summer song. I was like, this is really nice. And then I was like, let me look up the hotties that are singing this. And they're babies. Like full on. I'm not even convinced they were 18. And I was like,
chubby cheeks. NSYNC boy band type style.
I've never been turned off faster. It was horrible. And yeah, I think it would be much the same effect if you had these like actual like baby-faced 18-year-old boys being like, oh yeah, like,
let's get snapped,
look at the pooper on that one.
yeah.
Was a real line in the movie.
Yes, it was.
It's a quote.
Yes, it was. I do love, like, I think maybe there were maybe one or two women on this writers panel because there are little golden bits which make sort of the ridiculousness of trying to chase tail sort of work. That whole scene where they get off the bus and there's that choreographed dance of all the cheerleaders coming down, stretching in time. Just beautiful. And I don't think a man would have that sort of logistics in his head to do that.
No.
He'd be like, we're going to get some close-ups of crotches.
Titties. just titties.
They're going to be jumping up and down.
So what did
the girls will be in downward dog pose and
forever.
Then up
just
the
want it to look like a
movie.
fitness Instagrammer's page. Like
so I mean we could speak the joys of this movie, but like what did we particularly not like, obviously apart from the ick?
I think this is a very like genre specific thing because I also noticed it actually in the Bring It On movie too, but there's this like really horrible trope of like the predatory gay where like there's a gay male character who like basically sexually harasses Sean a couple of times, and that's passed off as I didn't realize he was gay. And it's like, dude, he groped your butt. It's not okay, actually.
And they actually did the same with a female character.
Yeah, there's the gay cheerleader played by what's her name, Danielle Ackles, and she's like also just super predatory. Like she like sneaks into the one girl's bed and is sleeping in her bed, and the girl's like, get out, and she's like, oh, and it's like,
I'm here now.
And it's like it's really horrifying. It's truly not okay. Especially because, you know, we know so many like LGBTQ people have had horrible experiences at camp. It's a
Yeah,
generally
exactly.
mortifying place to be a lot of the time. And I just every single time that joke was made, I was like, oh, this has never been funny. It's just icky.
Yeah, and it perpetuates those stereotypes, because I mean, a lot of you know, the old school homophobia. I mean, sadly, it's not really that old school. It's just like, oh, I don't like being around gay men because what if they try to grope me?
If they hit on me?
And it's just like, this doesn't help that sort of line.
And
in that respect,
Bring It
it's
On movie. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
In the fucking Bring It On movie, there's like a throwaway joke at the beginning about like how dudes sometimes slip digits.
Yes.
And she was like, no, it's not just the dudes. Lesbian Sarah also does it. And they're like, lesbian Sarah's like, haha, guilty.
What?
And then Hannah's like, I lost my virginity that way.
Yes.
And they just made so many jokes at Hannah's expense, you know, where she's pretending to be a dumb blonde, where she like, you know, just like talks about like sexual assault that occurred to her. And you're like, oh, and it's like played for laughs, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, no, it's really awkward. That humor just does not.
Yeah,
no, it does not land. Yeah, I wonder, like, I think maybe there should be sort of a proviso when you're writing a script, like Celtics or whatever program you're writing it in, like the little fucking paperclip comes up and goes, would someone watching this really find it appropriate? Like, you know, hey, I noticed that you're writing a joke about sexual molestation. Do you really think that's appropriate?
I want to remind you, this is an issue that affects millions, if not billions of people worldwide.
And then
you
erase
look
it
like
and
a
it just
dick.
appears. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so that's what we're gonna do after this, is we're gonna write that program, get it shipped off, make our millions, and that's
Step
it.
1, learn how to code. Step 2.
Yes.
Step 3, question marks. Step 4, profit.
Yes.
What were you gonna say, Max? Did I interrupt you?
I can't fucking remember. Go ahead.
So many lost thoughts, so many of those beautiful lost thoughts. Yeah, look, like, it's such a weird balance for this movie, and I mean, I've been wanting to do this movie for so long, but it had always been over 50% until apparently this year. And I guess that goes to show, like, sort of where the human race is in terms of like what we'll accept for comedy. So like, you know, the funny bits in this movie obviously used to, back in 2009, way surpassed the really icky bits. And then as we learn more about how, you know, sexual assault is not a great thing, just that balance starts to shift.
Surprise!
Maybe we shouldn't portray gay people as like super predatory and like somehow the oppressors in all this.
Yeah, that was a unfortunate thing. And then also the whole thing about Coach Keith being sort of like secretly gay. I mean, not really that funny.
That being said, I did laugh very hard at their naked routine that they improvised in the middle. That was very funny.
Flawless.
It's the sound that it makes when Nick jumps on Sean's
jumps
back.
up on his friend's back.
And it's just that wonderful like clap sound. It's so beautiful.
Something like that. That's the sound.
Did you do the Foley for Fired Up?
I should have. Hire me.
Foley artist, Max.
His forehead.
Hire me, I'm famous.
So let's talk scenes that could have saved this then. So yeah, Max, you can go first. I'm firing at you first.
Oof. Scenes that could have saved it. So what I would have liked is, so obviously the two leads are disgusting towards women.
Yes.
You know, and the idea is that Dr. Rick is such like a disgusting caricature of, you know, how men perceive women, that we're supposed to be like, oh, even the main characters are fine in comparison to this. But I would have liked a little bit more self-awareness of the fact that the main characters are still fucking problematic in the way that they perceive and like interact with women. I would have liked some sort of moment of, is that what we're like? And wow, we need to be better. You know, we can't ever be like Dr. Rick. I would have liked some sort of moment like that. That would
have been cool.
Instead of leaving it to the audience to like see him as a foil, I would have liked the movie to acknowledge it.
There's like no sense of actual remorse from them at all.
They get exactly what they want.
Yeah. And there's no like repercussions for them being like, you know, objectifying women.
No.
There's no repercussions. Like there's almost a repercussion when Carly is like, oh, Sean, I really thought you were better than that. But he actually like he gets with her in the end, which is fine, I guess, because he has changed and he doesn't want to objectify women. He just like wants to be with her or whatever. But there's no real like moment where they're like, oh my god, we should just like be nice to women and like treat them like people.
I would have liked that. This like kind of exceptionalism, right? Like they don't learn that all women have vivid internal lives and are worthy of basic respect. It's just Carly because she has self-respect and she's not like the other girls. It's like really she's the only girl at the whole cheerleading camp
with dreams and hopes
worthy
and is a human
of,
being
like your respect.
No, you're so
like
right.
they tried to. They really tried to. There was that one scene, where they're at Mookie's dad's house, and they're in the kitchen busy making a salad, and like they're busy talking about, oh, this girl has this dream to go to cooking school. Like they sort of attempted to show that they're now thinking of women as people, and I guess that's like a little bit of character growth, but I feel like it didn't really drive home for me. I would have liked to see some sort of, like a more heavy.
Also, they only learned those things because they were trying to fuck those girls.
Exactly. Like, and like the worst part about it, and like it goes back to exactly your scene, is that like he says all the stuff about them like wanting to go to cooking class, and then they hop on back to the fucking thing, and then Nick hooks up with the older lady Diana, and Sean gets Carly. And it's just like, okay, cool, so we don't grow anymore and everything's fine. No, absolutely, you're so right. What's your scene, Simone?
Very similar vibes. I think they get what they want. They get what they want the whole time, and they somehow learn a lesson from it, but it's not on purpose.
Accidental. Pure accident.
So I would have found the movie a little more interesting if there was some reason that they couldn't have sex while they were on this camp.
Ooh.
Like something was stopping them. Right? Ooh. Like maybe some sort of bet that they'd made, like, oh, I bet I can go the longest without banging any of these chicks or whatever.
These hot cheerleaders. Yeah.
Or
so that they actually like
PSA
for once.
no, you go.
No. Oh,
sorry.
I
was just gonna say, no, it's all a mess. No, you professionals. I was just gonna say it's like a wonderful PSA where they go, oh, we ran out of condoms, so we can't have sex anymore because it's not safe.
Exactly.
That would have been good. Exactly. That would have been good. So what do you think that would have achieved?
So then, like, we actually see them, like, they're stuck at cheer camp. They're just, like, trying to, like, make sense of everything, get along. They're in a low point, right? Because they're not, like, getting their dicks wet.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I did not like it as I said it. I didn't enjoy it. I'm so sorry. And they actually, like, end up having to, like, be part of the team and, like, hang out with their squad and, like, talk to them like human beings instead of, like, sex dolls. Where, like, they're trying to press the right buttons to get them to sleep with them. They're, like, genuinely kind of bored, kind of bummed, like, and they have to, like, relate to the people that they're with. And maybe they have some sort of problem that someone on their team helps them out with. Maybe, like, I don't know, like...
some
maybe
sort of
they
like
have to be on the back
moment.
foot for fucking once.
That's a good show. Actually,
absolutely.
And also, I didn't want Nick to get back together with Carly at the end. I would have liked it if,
he didn't deserve
even
it.
if nothing else changed in the movie. If like they get to the end and he's like, and he like wakes up and she's like, oh, you did a triple backflip and you should have done a double backflip. Instead of kissing him, she's just like, you're actually disgusting. Like, I see how you talk to women. I'm truly not interested in being involved with that.
Which one is Nick and which one is Sean?
No,
Nick's the dark-haired one.
No,
right?
Sean's the dark-haired one. Nick's the other one.
Oh, it's the other way around.
Look,
I thought I was wrong.
No, they're interchangeable. Let's be fair. They're both sleazy and awful. So
both,
yeah. Fair.
Generic names.
And I think it's like what you're saying, sis, is like quite similar to the problem with Cheer Smacked, is that the low point wasn't low enough.
Wasn't even low.
We didn't care that they were like, oh, we're so sad and we're definitely going to learn a lesson from this, and you're like, you didn't learn shit, like you were still fine, like you didn't lose anything really.
No, absolutely. No, I completely agree with you.
I wanted Carly to be like, no, like just because you were like nice to me and we got along doesn't mean I want to date you. You're disgusting.
You're still awful.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're riddled with STDs, I have to assume.
Like hundreds of women. That's insanity. That's too many women.
Like,
do you go to class? Same as Cheer Smacked. Do they go to class? What do they do?
How do you have energy to do all of this? Like, come on, I know you're 18, but
exhausting.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, no, I kind
Yes.
of completely agree with you, but like I've got kind of two. So the one is they get to the cheer camp, they meet the African American cheerleader who wants to go to college on a cheer scholarship, and then the movie shifts to his perspective, and we just learn about him and his journey as a young African American.
He's amazing. Yeah.
And just like growing into that sort of stardom. And yes, he's got a picture of George Bush because George Bush like cheerleaded in Yale. You know, he's just like this really like interesting, intricate guy. Brilliant. Well, that's the thing.
And, you know, like,
that's the thing.
Like the like expository dialogue we get is that he's been cheering with his girlfriend since they were in like middle school or whatever, and that's like extremely cute. That's a nice relationship dynamic to explore. Literally, if they just followed him, it would have made such a more interesting movie than the movie that we.
I want to know all about how he did.
Yes, exactly. So that would be the one movie. And then the second one that I would really like, and it goes back to your guys' points about growth, is sort of like, so Sean sees Dr. Rick cheating, or like hears him over cheating, and he completely ignores Nick's advice to not tell Carly, and he ends up telling Carly, and he has to deal with the backlash of that, of being like, oh, well, I guess I'm just a friend now because, you know, I kind of fucked this. And, you know, that's fine. And you know, he learns that. Yeah, and he learns, and he does the right thing. And, you know, Dr. Rick goes away and everything's fine. And they're all better.
Because in the movie, the way she finds out is that she sees him with the leader of the Panthers and stuff. And I you know, that like always bugged me. I was like, wow, so Sean just wasn't fucking gonna tell her. Like he just didn't respect her enough to tell her that her boyfriend was like being super unfaithful and
she
might
thought
give
they
her an
were
STD.
friends.
And then he like just doesn't ever tell her that he knew. He's just like, oh wow, you saw that. Wow, that sucks God, so much. Wow, Rick is like that. That's crazy. Wow, I can't believe it. You know, like I would have liked to see him tell her. I think that would have been a good character growth.
That would have been good. Yeah, I mean, all the best relationships start off with a bit of light gaslighting, and so I really think that Sean and Carly have like a really good, you know, going forward, and I wish them the best of luck. Really, truly.
Future. Yeah.
Well, would you guys watch this again?
Probably.
Yes, but only with
I'd
a
be
lot of alcohol in my
ashamed.
system.
Alcohol, shame. Yes, I think that's exactly how Nick and Sean slept with most of these women, is alcohol and shame. So it kind of, so I kind of guess, it goes with the movie. Completely agree. Lots of shame watching this. Sad laughter that you feel gross afterwards for having laughed at this. But you know what? 2009 was a horribly different time. Awful time.
But I'll pirate it so they don't get any of my money.
Yes, that's the point. Yes, I completely agree. Pirate this movie, guys. We're, you know, not telling you to do illegal things, but also we might be. Who knows?
Which who produced this? Was this Universal?
I think so.
Couldn't say.
I mean,
okay, fuck Universal.
You're asking us things that would.
You don't even know, but you're just like, fuck them.
Fuck you. Yeah, fine.
Fuck Universal.
Yeah, that's where we're going with this. This is our new hill that we're gonna die on. Fuck Universal.
Please don't demonetize us, YouTube.
Oh, we're not monetized.
Oh, sweetie.
Oh, sweetie.
Oh, thank you for believing in us. I really appreciate
really
that.
nice.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Max, for joining us, and thank you, Simone, for Cheer Week. This was your brilliant idea. So
thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So at the end of the podcast, what we like to do is a gratitude. So it's something that you have gratitude towards for this week. Something that made you really happy or that you're really thankful for. So Simone, why don't you go first while Max is thinking?
So I am super grateful that I got to do the podcast with my sister.
Yeah.
It's so cool that I finally get to have her on. She's part of it. She's in it.
It's so nice to have her on. She's been a great guest.
I love how you say, wow, it's so great that I finally got to have her on, as though having me on wasn't literally something you could have done at any time.
Don't make me take it
this
back.
This is where you find out that Simone actually wanted you on, and I've just been vetoing it the whole time.
The whole time Chad was like, no.
I
cheer
can't
dictator over here.
Yeah. I prefer the word femme. I fucking forgot it. What is it? The one.
Intimidation.
Thank you. I
Fempire?
prefer intimidation.
I also wrote down femme possible.
Oh.
Yeah,
Femme
anything is
possible
femme
is another
possible
one.
if you put yourself forward for it. Yeah.
Put your femme to it.
If you put your it works. Fuck it. Why not? What about you, Max? What's your
gratitude?
I'm grateful that I got to be on the podcast. I've never done anything like this before. The only thing that this mic has ever been used for is recording like sad clips of me singing that I am always too embarrassed to post. So it's like cool that it actually gets like used for something that like maybe one or two people listen to, perhaps. You guys have followers, right? You got like listeners. Hi, listeners.
Yeah,
Totally.
most of them are in this room, so
They're
like,
real.
yeah, absolutely. You two
No,
people
we
are gonna
do.
hear
We have
it.
really
No,
really fantastic listeners.
We've got the best fans, and they're gonna want you back, because it genuinely surprises me that you haven't done this before. Like, you've got a good voice for podcasting.
Yeah.
Like, you're very professional.
It's exactly
you've
the
got,
same
like,
as my
good pace.
sister's voice. So
Well, there you go. It works perfectly.
you know what I was thinking? Next
Um,
time we should put a voice mod on me and like just make my voice like extremely high, like just very high pitched, like a
Yes.
baby voice.
Hi,
I should just like talk up here like this the entire fucking podcast.
Well, you could
It's
have done it
definitely
yourself, Max, without
it's not
me
going to
having
piss
filter
anyone
it.
off. It's definitely going to be fine to listen to, and nobody's going to get annoyed by it. So
Well, we do voices. We got vocal fry. I mean, the people who listen to this
Oh,
podcast
so
are kind of
vocal fry.
impervious to the pains that we put them through, and we thank them for it. There it is. That's sexy. That's what we love.
Is it the grudge? Is it us? Who's to say?
what's your
Who's to-
gratitude? What's your gratitude, Chad?
What's my
There you go.
gratitude? Okay, so Boris, in all his wisdom, has allowed us to have non-essential shops open, which includes the gym. So I went back to the gym this week. It was incredible. I picked up
Hey,
heavy
work on your
weights.
cheer
Boris.
routines.
I did it. It was beautiful. I was up in the gym working on my fitness. He's my witness. It was perfect.
Hey.
I was so happy.
Woo.
Like, barbells, cables. It was perfect. Like, thank you, Boris. But we'll probably go into a lockdown in like 2 weeks. Yeah,
Enjoy
that's
it while
fine.
you can.
I'm going to enjoy it
Yeah.
while I can. Yeah, absolutely. So Simone, for next week, I had a thought, unless you've got something.
No, I've got nothing. You tell
All
me.
She
right.
doesn't have any thoughts.
Oh, what a slam right at the end. Jesus.
Saving it for the end.
Are we even
so-
siblings if we don't slam each other every now and
Yeah,
then?
you cheer
Yes, we
smack each
still
other. You
are.
hashtag
No one's gonna believe we're
cheer smack.
sisters.
No, not the fact that
You
your
sound
voices
exactly
are
the
identical.
same. I cannot
I don't.
emphasize it enough.
So I'm thinking let's do Oscar movies next week.
Yes. I'm super,
Okay.
super excited. I'm ready. What Oscar bait are you thinking?
Right. Okay. So I want to play a little game. I've only got 4 movies. Obviously,
Oh,
you
God.
should throw the
Okay.
best of 2, but let's go through it. So I'm going to give you the year and the award it
Oh,
won. You guys
no.
take your guesses, and then we'll go from there. So first, best makeup, 1988. What do we think?
1988.
88.
Chad. I was not born.
Wow. Okay. I'm getting a lot of backlash, so I'm just going to tell you that it's Harry and the Hendersons.
Would
I've
never have guessed. I don't know
never-
what Harry and the Hendersons is.
It's a great movie. You'll love it if you choose this movie, but if you don't,
Sure.
just go watch it anyway. Okay. Best makeup and hair, 2016.
2016.
Best makeup and hair.
Was it Suicide Squad?
It fucking was. Holy shit.
Oh, no.
How did you get that?
Yes.
Fuck.
Wow, how the fuck did you know that?
Yeah, that's really impressive.
Holy
I
shit.
remember they won an Oscar for something.
Yeah. Well done.
Why?
Jesus. Yeah, they shouldn't have.
They,
They definitely
certainly
shouldn't
had
have.
makeup and they certainly had hair.
They had it. They sure had it.
Okay, then next we have Best Production Design and Best Costume Design, 2013.
What came out in 2013?
I was in like second year.
Okay.
I've got nothing. I'm drawing a blank.
Nothing?
Hopefully.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. When this movie came out, there were lots of parties thrown in this movie's honor.
The Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby. Yeah.
Wait, did that
yeah.
get
So
less
smart.
than 50?
Yeah, 48%.
No.
I know, right?
Chad!
I know, right? Well, I guess I know which one movie we're doing. But
Are you
right,
doing
like,
a Gatsby episode?
well,
Max,
well,
we can watch Gatsby. We can have a Gatsby.
you guys can
party.
watch have a Gatsby party. So I guess we're doing Gatsby. And then the last movie, Best Makeup, 2000.
Ooh.
I know,
Oh,
very old
okay.
one, very
No
hard
one
one.
remembers the year 2000.
Okay,
It was so
Was it-
bland.
Like one of the Lord of the Rings movies?
no, but good thinking, good thinking. I'll give you a clue for this one. Jim Carrey played in this movie.
Was it The Mask?
No, wasn't The Mask. Good thinking, you two. Love the
was
synchronicity
horrified.
there. Okay, I'll give it to you. How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
What?
Yeah, 49%
Okay.
won an Oscar for whatever I said it was. Best
What?
makeup. Best makeup.
Why?
2000.
Okay, okay,
I mean,
sure,
I guess
valid.
he had makeup on, but I
I
feel like
mean-
maybe we should save the Grinch for a Grinch episode.
Okay,
Over Christmas.
that's fair. I like that. Okay, so then I guess the choices are Harry and the Hendersons or Suicide Squad. Obviously, we're doing Gatsby, but
You know, I'm guns
Wait.
to pick Suicide Squad.
I
Haven't you
knew
guys
she
done
was-
a Suicide Squad episode already?
No, we just hated on it a lot.
No, we did do one when we
did?
were still called It's Not That Bad.
Yeah, I remember
We
it.
did it with your friend Gray.
Oh yeah, we did. We did. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, well
I
that's been
listened
lost to
to it.
time. Oh, there you go. I
That's
mean, to be
But
fair,
maybe,
I thought
you know what? Maybe that should be its own thing. Maybe we should just do Harry and the Hendersons, like keep it relatively chill.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I think that's fair. All
Yeah,
right,
I
cool.
feel like
So-
Suicide Squad does deserve its own episode.
It's
Yeah.
There's a lot to
Maybe
address.
maybe when the new Suicide comes out, we'll do like a
because I also
before and after.
Comparison.
Yeah.
because I
yeah,
don't want to watch
yeah.
the old one again anytime
God.
soon.
No.
Actually,
Okay. So best makeup and dress, best makeup 1988, Harry and the Hendersons, and best production and design and best costume design 2013, The Great Gatsby. How exciting! Our Oscar episode. Very exciting.
Blah, blah, blah.
Amazing. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for bearing with us through the cheer-tastic episode that this was. Max, have you had fun joining us today?
I've had the most fun. You guys sure are fresh.
Well, I don't think we've ever been described that way. We're old and crudgely.
Certainly
but
haven't
if-
felt that way in quite some time. Am I right?
Absolutely. So, I mean, do you want to plug anything? Plug your socials,
Yeah.
plug whatever you're doing.
I just want everyone to remember that I'm very famous, because I've been in a movie and I'm extremely famous. I had a line, I wasn't credited, but I'm very, very famous. So just remember that. That's all I want. Thank you.
Do you want us
That's
to
fair
link
enough.
to your like Instagram or anything on the?
Yeah, like if you want. My Instagram is Max Takes Picture. Only one. There weren't enough letters
single
for me to
picture,
take
Yeah.
multiple pictures. The username was too long.
Yeah.
I don't.
Manifest
Sometimes I post. That's it. That's
That's
my
it.
whole plug. Sometimes I post.
Beautiful.
Fair enough. Fair
welcome.
enough.
Like it.
And Simone, where can the people find us?
They can talk to us on Facebook and Instagram at Fresh Tomatoes Podcast, on Twitter at Fresh Tomatoes MP. They can email us at freshtomatoespodcast@gmail.com.
There you have it. And as we say at the end of every episode, we love you and there's nothing you can do about it.
We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Go ahead. Do it. Say
Do
it.
I get to say it?
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
Fuck yes. We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Ooh.
Yes.
And Max branches out into ASMR. How exciting for the
Yeah,
end.
how fun for you.
All right,
I love
goodbye,
it.
y'all. Oh, sorry.
No. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.